Collectors have in a long time been asking Herpa to produce more single-aisle aircraft from the Middle East, and to be fair, Herpa has in recent times actually delivered on that request. But all the way back in 2015, Herpa had also already something in their portfolio, and that is what we will look at today. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A321-200 of Etihad Airways. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Etihad Airways branding. The backside of the box then offers us a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and we are provided with a web link from Herpa Wings where we supposedly can get more information about this aircraft model, but this link does not work anymore. And here she is, the Airbus A321-200 in the current standard livery of Etihad Airways. And as mentioned, this model was produced by Herpa Wings back in 2015, and as far as I know, is to date the only single-aisle aircraft model we have of an Etihad Airways aircraft. In scale 500, of course. So what's up with the aircraft model, and is it still worth our time in 2023? Well, the only way to find that out is by taking a closer look at it, and as always we start our tour on the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Etihad Airways color scheme. On the fuselage we then have the Etihad.com web address and the full registration code of the aircraft. Towards the very tail of the aircraft we then also find a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. If we then move to the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage, we find the Etihad branding, both in English and Arabic writing, and of course also the Etihad Airways crest, I would call it. Underneath all that, we then also have the company slogan, "From Abu Dhabi to the world." We of course also have the flag of the UAE, and underneath the cockpit windows, we have the aircraft type specification. And so we can also take a quick look at the cockpit section itself, where we of course have the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and above the cockpit windows we also find the last letter of the registration code printed on. The engine nacelles have then been kept in all white, but do have the silver leading edge printed on, as well as the Formula 1 advertisement for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Something I don't really like about these engines is that they seem to be mounted really low. This is not really something I know from Airbus A321 models from 2015 from Herpa Wings being a general issue, but it clearly looks a bit strange here. But the overall physical detailing of these engines is actually really nice, as you can see. From the engines we can then move on to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting over the top side where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out quite nicely, and we have some different shades of grey for additional detailing, so that looks pretty alright if you ask me. The underside of the wing then offers us more nice physical detailing, and here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The A321 also comes with these lovely winglets, which I think Herpa has done a pretty decent job with. Now with recent releases from Herpa Wings, I would advise you to always check the winglets, because Herpa has unfortunately become very inconsistent with them. But back in the day they actually did a pretty solid job with them, and I would also say on this aircraft model there isn't really much to be complained about. If we then take a quick look at the landing gear, we can see this is what used to be the standard landing gear that Herpa added to all the Airbus A320 family aircraft models, and in my opinion this looks much better than what we get from Herpa Wings nowadays, especially around the front landing gear. If I had to complain a little bit, it would be the fact of course that we have no printed details here, but other than that I'm really happy with this landing gear. Something I however will be complaining about is the fact that we have a hole in the fuselage for a stand which is not included with this aircraft model, and even worse, it destroys the Etihad branding on the belly of the aircraft. Very disappointing. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A321-200 in the current standard livery of Etihad Airways from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, I'm normally quite critical of Herpa's A321, especially because I don't like their mold, I don't like how the cockpit shape looks, which is changing from model to model, but I think this proves that Herpa is capable of making nice looking A321 models. In the past, of course. The only really issue I have with this aircraft model are the engines, which for some reason are sitting really low. And as I said, I don't remember this really being a general issue with the A321 back in the day, so I don't really know what happened with the model here. Now, of course, the model doesn't have quite as many printed details as a standard than what we see with more recent releases from Herpa Wings, but that's just a standard that Herpa had back in 2015. So in that sense, the model totally lives up to what you could expect from Herpa Wings. And overall, I think it is a nice looking model. The print quality itself is great. The physical detailing, apart from the height of the engines, it is great as well. So I really do like this aircraft model and would therefore say that absolutely it is worth having in one's collection if you want to have a lovely looking Etihad narrowbody in your collection. And on that positive note, it is time to end today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.